back down to Danville to pick up another load of shopping carts, and we're going to another Walmart. Nice load, pays good. Familiar with the customer, so usually pretty quick in and out. Right off of 29, so that makes it convenient. So hopefully we get out there and get this load picked up pretty quickly, and then get turned around, headed back up toward our drop yard, Stephen City, Winchester area. Leave the trailer sit overnight, and tomorrow morning early we'll get up and take it the rest of the way to where it's going. It's going up into Pennsylvania, pretty far up into Pennsylvania, another 4 hours into PA, so about 9 hours, 10 hours from where I'm picking it up at. But again, it's a real good paying load. It's relatively light. It's 35,000 pounds. It's not fragile. That's one of the things I like about it. It's not, unless you dump them out on the roadway, it's not much you can do hurt the shopping carts. They store them outside so they get rained on and all that kind of stuff. So you don't really have to worry about much anything. You just make sure that they're strapped down good. I always put load strap in, mainly in case the dock is at an angle. When I go to open the doors, back it into the dock, even though they've nailed boards down onto the floor and have a couple of strings down, I don't want a bunch of those parts coming flying out of the back of the truck when I'm on the dock. So I always put a load strap on just to be sure. So that's what we're doing today. I'll give you just a few minutes ride along with me, and then later we'll flip around, let you see a little bit of the road. And if I can remember to do it, I've been real bad with these videos about forgetting to actually take a picture of the cargo freight. If I can remember to do it before I close the doors today, I'll take the camera out of the truck, the phone, and take a little bit of video of the actual carts in the trailer. So that's the plan for today. And in terms of general stuff, still working on a blog post on ldsoul.com, incomeproductionopportunities.com. We build your own business empire, and other sites that we own and operate. Still working on building affiliate marketing as a business. We're putting together a course right now. I'm hoping to publish that course before the beginning of next week. That course is basically a DOT fundamentals for independent owner-operators with the emphasis on the things that are necessary to get your authority as an independent owner-operator. So, not a lot of frills, not a lot of theory, not a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff for the most part, but it's what you need to know to get your trucking business up and operating successfully as an independent owner-operator with your own authority. And more specifically, how you can build your own checklist to try to make sure you get all the items covered that you need to in the right sequence. So putting that course together, I look forward to coming to 3 lectures every night, and then whatever I have left on it, I will finish that up this upcoming weekend and get that submitted to Udemy. Udemy has to do a review. They review all the courses, and as soon as they review it, then it becomes live and available for people to buy it. So if you're interested or know somebody's interested in getting your own authority, or they're interested in getting their own authority as an independent owner-operator motor carrier, it'd be a good course for you to take. Interested in trucking, of course, also come and join our free Facebook group, Trucking Business Success. Search for it on Facebook, answer the questions, and then we'll get your group going in. We have entry questions because they're trying to use that to help keep the spammers and the scammers to a minimum. A few always get through, but as soon as they start posting garbage, I'll usually pull them once. When I do it again, I just throw them out. So try to make sure we get to keep people that are really truly interested in trucking. No matter what aspect of trucking you're interested in, if you're interested in just getting into trucking, getting your CDL, starting a career as a company driver, you're interested in becoming a leased owner-operator, you're interested in lease purchase programs, you're interested in getting your own authority, becoming an independent owner-operator, becoming a freight agent, a freight broker, any other kind of trucking much support as they need, as much as I can to the best of my ability. I want you to be happy with the courses that you take. I want you to get good value from them. And if that means you need more information, clarification, help, support, answers, or you have suggestions of how I can improve the course, I want to be able to provide that. And that's just one way to do it. We can do it by email, we can do it by Zoom, or some other type thing. But the group, the LD School Student Support Group, is an excellent place to maintain contact and to be able to set up other meetings or something if we need to get involved in. So if you're in one of my courses, even one of them, any course at all, any platform, join that group. If you're not a student, it will be a minute, and we do check the roster to make sure you're taking at least one of my courses. So if you're not enrolled, go to Udemy, look up LD School, look at the 19 courses I have there. Soon to be 20 courses. Pick a course, enroll in it, and you can join the student support group. So I hope you're doing well. Hope you're being safe. It is relatively cold here. This morning was well below freezing. And the sun's up. Not too bad. Still chilly, but it's not too bad. You can see out the window a little bit. There's still some remnants of snow that hasn't completely melted in most areas. I mean, down here is not as much as it is up in Stephen City, Winchester, up in Pennsylvania, but there's still some of it. Talking about as well in the course, I'll briefly mention it because one of the things that you have to have in order to get your authority is you need insurance. It's mandatory. And to get insurance, you need a truck. You don't necessarily have to buy a trailer, but from a practical standpoint, to make the most money you can, you need a tractor and a trailer, a truck and a trailer. So a lot of people are concerned with or interested in what kind of a truck should they buy. My number one recommendation is the one I'm sitting in right now. It's a 2014 Freightliner Cascadia with a DD15. This one happens to have a manual transmission in it. It's got 13 speed, 170 horsepower. You don't necessarily need a 13 speed. You don't necessarily need a manual transmission. Automatic's okay, despite the fact a lot of people poo-poo. They're actually pretty good transmissions. So if you find a good Freightliner Cascadia with a transmission that you like, 10 speed, 13 speed, Super 10, or even an automatic at a reasonable price, buy it. As long as it has less than 1 million miles on it. And most of these trucks, if they were taken care of, maintained properly, they'll reach $1 million, maybe $1.2 million. It's $1,200,000. I'm hoping to get this one to about $1.1 million before I rebuild the engine. And at this rate, I got about another 300,000 miles to go before we get to that point. And the majority of loads that I run and that we run in Transport Resource Solutions are loads I can turn in a day. So I'm not really going that far. This is one of the longer trips that we do. So I'm running about 4.5 hours from our office to get out here and pick this load up, 4.5 hours back. And tomorrow I'll run about another 4 hours, 4.5 hours up in Pennsylvania to deliver it. So even it's split into 2 days, so I can turn it and get back into the base setup right now. We got to meet with my wife and not be out late for overnight, which she likes and I like too. And then finish the load up tomorrow. But most of the loads that we do are shorter than this. There's something that I would go to pick up and actually take it all the way to its delivery point. Usually the same day or certainly just the next morning. Like yesterday's load, was another load of shopping carts. I came down here and picked it up the day before yesterday, carried it back up to Winchester, delivered to Walmart in Winchester yesterday morning. So yesterday all I had to do was get up, go get the truck, the trailer, go to Walmart, pump the dock, let them unload the carts, go back and pick the truck up, and I was done for the day. And it was only, I think, 10 miles before I parked the truck and we were delivered. And 10 miles back to the drop. So it was a relatively easy load. But I made enough money off of that load to cover 2 days of our target income. And the same thing with this load. Even though this load takes 2 days to complete, it generates enough income for us to get our income goals for 3 days. So very good paying load. Very happy to have it. We're trying to run more of these. necessary. If they didn't do it, there would be people out here running the trucks with ball tires, no brakes, little pieces hanging off of them, and some of them already trying to get away with it. So it's a necessary thing, but it's still irritating, and it's still a waste of time for you and for me if they stop us, particularly if you're doing a good job trying to keep your equipment up and keep it in order. So, but it is what it is. Part of the business. No need. You're gonna get stopped from time to time. And there's no need to get upset about it. little bit of video of this one. You can see way down there the cop cars. That's another traffic backup. This is a second traffic backup of this morning. We're up in Pennsylvania. Another crash. Road's starting to get a little bit greasy as the snow is coming down. People going too fast. You can see back there where people are already backing up behind me. And we'll probably be here for a little while. But you need to slow down, be careful in the wintertime, and again on your trips allow a lot of extra time. Again, this is the second crash that we've encountered on this trip this morning. So a little further up the road, we'll be back with you and check back in. We're sitting in the dock at Walmart waiting for them to unload these shopping carts. Let's see if we can turn this around a little bit. You can see it starting to snow a little bit more. Most of what's been coming down has been small flakes. I don't know if you can see those or not, but the flakes are getting bigger. And as the temperature drops over the afternoon, it's going to get interesting. Certainly going to be an interesting trip going back. You got about a 3-hour ride, maybe a little bit more than that. And with the weather, it might be considerably more than that, but it is what it is. So that will complete this trip as soon as they get it all off here. Now they hand unload these carts. They pull them out, you know, 1 or 2 or 4 or 5, whatever many they can drag out of there. They usually get 4 or 5 people pulling them out. And then when they're loaded, the shipper nails boards down to the floor. So they have to prise those boards up in order to be able to remove the shopping carts. So that's what's going on right now. They're pulling boards up, pulling carts out. And this load was a little bit harder for them because they double stacked it. They usually don't do that. I'm not sure why they did, but there were 2 rows of carts on there, as you might have seen in the little clip earlier. But that's where we're at, and I might show some footage of the trip back, maybe. I'm gonna come out of here and loop around where that truck's at, past that pole, go back out that way, and then about 2 miles I'll be back at 81 South. And you know, headed down the mountain instead of up the mountain. So we'll see how that goes, and maybe I'll do a little short clip to add to this video once I get back. And if something interesting is going on, I might turn the camera back on before that. But thanks for riding along with me, and I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you again either in a little while in another clip, or I'll talk to you in our next video. Thanks a lot. Take care. All right, here we are at the delivery location, and there it is, shopping cart. Let's see if I can climb up here. Double stack, so a lot of shopping carts. Whole 53-foot trailer full of these things for Walmart, which is right there. And as soon as that FedEx truck gets out of that dock, if he doesn't bag into it, I'm gonna back in that. They're gonna unload this, and then we'll be out of here. Truck's a little nasty, driving in all the snow and ice and the crud. And that's the way it goes in trucking. Stuff all over the front of it. So that'll do it for now, and I'll check back with you in a little while. Well, the trip is over. The truck is tucked back at the drop lot, safe and sound, shut down. I was gonna make a little video in the drop lot, but it's getting a little slippery out here, and the traffic is picking up, so I'm trying to miss most of the traffic to get back to the office and turn some paperwork in and get everything taken care of. We can go ahead and shut down, take a couple of days and take care of some personal business. Let's see if I can turn this camera around without dropping it. This is the weather right now. It's snowing, but it's just little light flakes. It's not, you can see it's starting to try to stick to the road a little bit, despite the fact you got a bunch of chemicals down. The traffic's picking up this time of the day on a Friday, so. Trip was good. Got everything offloaded at Walmart, no problem. Took them a little bit longer than usual because they had double stacked the carts on top of each other. First load I've had like that, but I guess they have a lot of customers up there, so. But they're really nice people. Every Walmart I've gone to so far and delivered these things have been really nice people, and they've been very quick usually gets you in the dock and unloaded within an hour. Today took a little bit longer than that, but not much. And so that completes the trip from Danville, Virginia to Pennsylvania. Pittston, I think it was, something like that, up by Wilkes-Barre and all that north of, way north of Harrisburg and a little bit north of Hazleton. But it's right off 81, so it's a good load. Picked it up right off of 29, US 29. I mean, just a few hundred yards, maybe a mile, if that, off of 29, and then delivered it less than 2 miles off of 81. So that's a nice run. Anything up and down that corridor is a nice run to me. But as I said, we ran into 2 wrecks today. Partially, I don't know the details, so in fairness on it, so I'm just guessing. But I'm gonna guess partially due to weather, this stuff which started this morning, and then partially due to the fact that people drive like idiots, including some truck drivers. That you cannot run 4 feet off a bumper of another vehicle at 70 plus miles an hour when you have inclement weather conditions. You shouldn't be doing that at any time, but if you're doing it in conditions like this, you have no good choices if something happens. If a car in front of you slams on its brakes or somebody swerves or whatever, you're either going to have contact with that vehicle or you're going to take the truck off the road and probably roll it over. And that's the first one was a rollover. And I don't know if there are other vehicles involved with that. It was also very early in the morning, and it's possible he went to sleep. I don't know. Again, I'm guessing. My guess is either he went to sleep or most likely following too closely and then maneuvered and overcorrected and lost it and rolled it over. Could have been something else. Maybe somebody ran into him. I don't know, but there were no other vehicles involved with that one by the time I rolled by. The second one was another tractor trailer that got tangled up with a Sprinter type van. And I don't know who did what. I don't know if the van hit the truck or the truck hit the van or what happened, but or caused the accident. But the Sprinter van was turned around facing the wrong direction off on the right side of the road, laying on its side. So again, thoughts and prayers for everybody who was involved in any of that stuff today. And that's another point too I want to make, is that I don't care how good a driver you are, how careful you are, you can be in the wrong place, the wrong time, have something happen. You could have an equipment malfunction, which is rare, but it does happen. Years ago, I was coming back from Philly, coming south of Carlisle on this same road on 81, pulling doubles for Coles. I used to haul stuff to Coles, pulling double trailers. And that was one trip my wife had decided to go with me, and it was about this time of the year. And we came across a bridge just like this one in Pennsylvania. And as soon as we hit that bridge, it was solid ice. And the tractor was turning one way, and the back trailer was turning one way, and the middle trailer was, or the front trailer was turning another way. And by the grace of God and by a whole lot of luck and maybe a little bit of driving skill, I was able to get it straightened back out and under control, and didn't hit anything, nothing hit me. But that could have been a very, very bad accident. And again, like I said, bridge is ice over. You know, even though when you have the state doing what they're supposed to, putting down chemicals, and trucks doing their thing, you know, and it's really, really cold or the temperature drops really quickly, it's possible for a little patch of ice to form, and that's all it needs. One little slippery spot and you're gonna lose control of it. So but outside of those things, which we can't do a whole lot about other than, you know, possibly stay off the road. But, you know, even like this, a lot of people say, well, don't drive, don't go anywhere. Well, you know, stores need food, they need clothes, they need all the other things that everybody needs and wants. So drivers try to deliver it when they can, if it's considered to be a reasonable risk, and everybody's idea of what's reasonable is different. But anyway, it's kind of a long video, but I hope that you have enjoyed riding along with me today. And take care, be safe, have a nice weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon in our next video.